Hello. Participant, can you hear me? Okay, thank you very much for the confirmation. So on behalf of LPU, specifically the Department of Distance and Online Education, I welcome you all in this event, which is workshop on the building ATS Friendly resume. And today's expert is Mr. Arpit Thakur from the team ODL. Mr. Arpit is a master's and bachelor degree holder in mechanical engineering, and he has over 8 years of experience in corporate relation, data analysis, and project coordination. Mr. Arpit's expertise lies in analyzing gap between student proficiency and industry needs, delivering training sessions to prepare students for placements. In academic operations, he maintained databases, derived insight from process improvement, and creative, effective reporting methods. As an assistant professor, Mr. Arpit, in mechanical engineering, he mentored thousands of students, conducted various training sessions, and contributed to research in areas such as space conditioning, non-conventional fuels, and other areas as well. I welcome Mr. Arpit for this very interesting talk and workshop on CV building. So, with all these words, I hope this workshop will be quite beneficial for the students and the participant, and I hope you will enjoy the session and learn. Thank you very much, and I welcome Mr. Arpit to deliver the lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jitendra sir, for such nice words. I hope all the participants are able to hear my audio. Give me a yes if you are able to hear my audio. Okay. Thank you, participants, and I hope the screen is also visible. Right now, I have shared my screen with you. Got it. So I formally welcome all the participants to taking out time from their schedule on a weekday, I would say, at this afternoon session. But the importance of this topic is as such that it is going to help you, or it is going to benefit you great time. If you will follow this whole entire talk, I'm going to deliver my talk for somewhere around 1.5 hours to 2 hours. And I hope you are going to cultivate some important topics, some important takeouts from this session, which will be implemented by you yourself in your resume or in your CVs. And I am sure that those takeouts are going to help you big time. So with these words, I would like to start my session here. Let us be energetic. See, this is a hands-on workshop. So I'm going to share certain exercise with you. So those exercises will help you to, participate in those activities, and then we'll try to list out those things so that we can enter, or we can put certain inputs to our resumes also. So it is going to be a hands-on exercise also with this workshop. So let us begin. Are you all excited? Give me a yes or no. Okay. Thank you, participants, for such wonderful participation. Before beginning this lecture, or this, I would say not lecture, I would say this session, I would like to know whether you already have a resume prepared for yourself. Is there anybody who has not prepared a resume for themselves? Today is the time. Most of us, I would say most of us, we have our resumes built, and we share those resumes with, yes, we have resumes. So most of you are having a resume. Okay. So since you are having a resume, do you think your resume is sufficient, or it is competent enough for the opportunities, or for your aspirations? Okay, we have one yes, one no. I would like to know your honest opinion about your own resume, which you have made. Do you think your resume is competent enough? Okay, so I have a mixed batch of reaction, yes and no. Okay. Okay, no issues if it is also poor, if you think it is not up to mark. After this session, I am sure that your resume is going to be superb. All right. So I have sufficient reactions from the audience. See, basically the title of this resume, this workshop I have chosen is Building ATS Friendly Resume. Now, do anybody of you know what is ATS? Are you aware about the term ATS? The session is named as Building ATS Friendly Resume. So, do we have awareness about ATS? Those who are saying yes, you can write the meaning also. What do you understand by ATS? Correct. Okay. Let's see, I'll tell you the full form of ATS is Application Tracking System. I'm repeating myself. The full form of ATS is Application Tracking System. Now, see, in the background, I have used an image of a robot. Basically, we are living in an era which is, which is very rapidly changing towards automation, towards machine learning, towards artificial intelligence. And so is all the other processes also. आप industry में जाते हैं, industry में there are processes which are now being automated, I would say. How those automation is helping industry, just a second. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. See, we were talking about building ATS friendly resume. Now, ATS I was defining application tracking system. Since the process nowadays in the industry is shifting towards automation, machine learning, artificial intelligence. So even the processes, different processes like operations process or supply chain, or I would say even in the process of hiring also. Hiring means the HR processes. They are also implementing these methodology, these fundamental concepts into hiring also. Like if a post is open, then what will happen? There are thousands, lakhs of people applying for the same post. Now, a person as a match, try to think about the process that a person is, going to screen all those resumes. So it is a lot of time taking process that a single person is not able to not able to screen all the thousands or the lakhs of resumes. So what the companies will do, they have implemented certain softwares. Those softwares will scan your resume, and those software will match the job descriptions, the requirements which is related with the job with your resume, and they will find whether how much your resume is matching with the job recruitment, right, requirement. So in order to that, they will score your resume, and based on the higher scores, the higher resumes will be selected, and remaining all the other resumes will be screened out. So basically the process is optimized by different softwares, and that is why these application tracking system comes into picture. These are the softwares which is going to scan your resume, not the human. See, human intervention is reduced now the software at the very first stage is going to scan your resume, and then those scanned resumes, the shortlisted resumes based on the software, will be given to a human who is going to see or read your resume, and further if he want, he will shortlist you for some personal connection. Fine. So that is why it is important to make your resume ATS friendly, software friendly. And my whole workshop is going to be based upon this, that how you can make your resume ATS friendly. I hope I'm making some sense, and you are understanding ki what is the weightage of this workshop, or what is this workshop is about. Give me a yes or no if you're getting the gist of the workshop. What we are going to learn is I'm going to handhold you to convert your resume to be ATS friendly. Okay. I'm glad that you understood the gist of our workshop. Since you have understood the gist, we can start with our discussion now. Okay, let's onboard with the discussion. Now, see, when we are talking about resume or CVs, they are the, they are the first step of our career. So when we are talking about career, we should understand there is a whole cycle behind a career. Suppose you are studying here, so you are trying to build a career for yourself. So there is a whole lot of process you have done previously in the past, and there are a whole lot of things you are going to do in the future also to make your career. So I would consider a career as a cycle of processes which an individual will do. Do you agree? A career is a list of processes a individual do one after the other. I hope you agree. रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर क्या है? आपने जब एडमिशन लिया था आपका एक रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर जनरेट हुआ होगा 322 या 323 करके, तो वो आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर होगा, दीपेश. Okay. Since the career, I would say it's a list of processes which an individual will do to reach a particular goal. Now, that particular goal could be a job in a reputed firm. That goal could be a business. That goal could be anything where you are, for which you are working in order to sustain yourself, to earn your, livelihood. So that is the whole process we can consider as a career cycle. Now, I will try to draw a picture for a career cycle. Could be a different it could be a different picture for different individual, but I'm trying to draw a picture for a career cycle. Let's see what a career cycle could look like. Okay, a career cycle किस तरह से दिख सकता है? Let us just try to see. Now, see, this is a student who is going to take admission to an institute. Now, like you have taken an admission here, right? So in different programs, maybe, right? So a student is aspiring to take admission in an institute, maybe in some program, some certification course, some diploma course, fine. Now, after taking the admission, student work very hard and completes the degree. So after completing the degree, what is the next step? So student, try to onboard the career with a job. You will aspire to, you will push to get a job, or maybe a business, maybe a startup, maybe entrepreneurship, right? So this is how after completing a degree, relevant degree, you are going to get a relevant job. Okay. But do you think between completing the degree and getting the job, do you need to do any more things, or is there any steps which I am missing out here in the career cycle? See, career cycle I've started with getting the admission, studying hard to complete the degree, and getting the job. But is there any step missing as per your perception? What is your perception that after completing the degree and getting a job, is there any other step you need to do? Can somebody suggest? If you are saying yes, can you suggest what steps are these which are being missed by me? See, after you complete your degree, to get a job, yes. See, even during the Rideep has said skill building, experience, certification, resume interviews, matching the career with job. So I have got very interesting answers. Okay, see, when you are doing your degree, you are continuously building your skills. Even after the degree, you are building towards your skill. You may need to get certain experience. Anjali has written experience. So yes, you do have to have certain experience. आप internship करते हैं, you do some kind of internship, some kind of project, you gain certain experience from that. Aditya has said certification based on your program. Suppose you are a developer, आप developer के लिए apply कर रहे हैं, तो you strive towards a certification. Okay, आप supply chain में काम कर रहे हो, go for a certification, right? So yes, there are a whole lot of steps which are missing. But if I would like to compile all of your answers, अगर मैं इन सारे answers को compile करना चाहूँ, so I would say that during the degree you do work upon your experience, you do work upon your skill building. Okay, you do work upon different other aspects. But how to showcase all of these things? आप इंटरव्यू देने जा रहे हैं या फिर आपने डिग्री कंप्लीट कर लिया, so how will you project that you have done these things? Okay, so that reflecting yourself, projecting your skills, projecting your work, okay, that step is missing, because directly you are not going to get the job unless you are projecting yourself. So which step is missing? So step is missing is you have to do a whole lot of exercise. आपको कुछ एक्सरसाइज करना पड़ता है डिग्री कंप्लीट करते वक्त या करने के साथ में. यू हैव टू लिस्ट आउट द एम्प्लॉयर्स. आपको देखने पड़ते हैं कि आपने जो डिग्री या जो जॉब के लिए या फिर जो भी एरिया में स्टडी किया हुआ है, उन एरिया में कौन से कंपनीज हायरिंग करती हैं. First, you list out the target employers. You will target the employers. Okay. Then you will go to those employers, maybe website, maybe different social media platforms where they apply, where they list the jobs or the requirement available with them. So you search them, okay, on different portfolios or different platforms, right? So if you search for them, and if you think that yes, a relevant job opportunity is available with one of my employers which I'm targeting, so you can appear for the interview. You apply to them and then you appear for the interview. Even when you're appearing for the interview, suppose when you're appearing for the interview, you need certain things. Okay, you need to build your profile before appearing to the student. Now, how do you build a profile? So there could be different options of building a profile. Like you can go for a resume building. You can build your own resume. Nowadays, even the employers are seeking LinkedIn and other social media platform of the person who is applying for the job, right? So there are different ways of building a profile, and you must adapt all the ways. आपने resume बना लिया, you think your resume is fine. You should also explore other areas. You should work upon or your LinkedIn profile. You should work upon on your GitHub profile or some other profiles which you have created your profile on. Fine. So you should build an effective profile for yourself. Now, for this workshop, I will limit my content for resume building and even such kind of resume which is friendly for the ATS system also, application tracking system also, so that आप फर्स्ट स्टेप पे सॉफ्टवेयर के साथ सॉफ्टवेयर की वजह से अलग ना हो जाए प्रोसेस से. ओके, सॉफ्टवेयर आपको अलग ना कर दे. हम उस पॉइंट पे काम करेंगे सो दैट यू विल नॉट बी स्क्रीनड आउट बाय द सॉफ्टवेयर इटसेल्फ. सो दैट इज माय होल फोकस ऑफ माय वर्कशॉप विल रिलाइंग अपॉन. हाँ, लिंक्डइन पे या फिर अदर सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे those content is not touched upon in this workshop. Maybe in the future workshop we will talk about them also. So today we are going to complete the career cycle by working upon this particular area of resume building. I hope my voice is very much clear to all of you, right? Okay, thank you. So before starting to this exercise, before jumping right into making the resume, I would like to share certain facts with you regarding the job applications or job finding. You can see some data I have presented. So before explaining this data, I would like to draw your attention towards the right side of my presentation. You can see that 21 to 80 application, it will take nearly 21. These are the average figures taken by US Bureau of Labor Statistics, that an applicant may need to apply 21 to 80 applications for getting one offer, right? So you see the amount of effort an applicant has to do to get one offer. And even if you further decode this data, you will see that a job seeker has to work 10 hours every week to seek the jobs, to find the jobs. I know, I can see that some of you are still also seeking the jobs on different platform. You are giving certain time, you're dedicating your time for job seeking, job searching. So every week a job seeker on an average spend 10 hours for seeking the job. And there are 61.7% chances that you are going to get an interview call if you apply 10 applications. So after 10 applications, the probability of getting an interview call is not 100%, it is 61.7%. And even there is 51% chance that you will get offer after 3 interviews. That means for 3 interviews, you might have to go for 30 application, and then your chance of getting a job is 51%. So such is the scenario, such is the competition available in the market. So you can see these are very difficult situation which a job seeker has to face. And to stand out in this situation, you have to stand out in this situation. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप in average figures में जाएंगे. You have to stand out of this situation. आपको average से ऊपर जाना है. And for that, the very first step we are addressing today is building a good resume, an effective resume. Right. So this is the scenario I would like all of you to understand, which you are also a part of now. So let us see that how we can improve our chances of standing out. Okay. So for that, I was saying you that since the technology is rapidly changing, so we are in the world of automation nowadays, and there are software packages, the ATS system, application tracking system, AI systems, which are scanning your resume at the very first step. Once you upload your resume on a company's portal, so it's not like the HR manager is going to see your resume initially, and yes, yeah, he will be impressed by your resume. Initially, the software will scan your resume and check for the relevance of your resume with the job they have posted. And you would be surprised to know that about 70%, 50 to 70% of the resumes are cancelled out, are rejected, are weeded out by the system itself. So only 30%, 50 to 30% resumes are transferred to the HR manager. You can see chances of getting cancelled, getting rejected at the very first stage is huge. And our task or our focus here is to be selected, even you used to get selected in this 50 to the remaining 30 to 50%. Fine. So your resume should stand out so that a software is not going to reject your resume. So we should work upon our resume so that we are not getting rejected by the software itself. Right. So that is our task here to learn. Now, as I was saying, since the average data which was presenting in the earlier slide, it was not very encouraging. So how you can make your resume to stand out? Fine. So for that, I would like to project two important aspects here, that if you are making your resume or any other profile also, I'm not limited to resume at this point of time. If you're making even your LinkedIn profile or some other profile, your resume, your profiles, your profile should be powerful. When I say powerful, that means your profile should have all those required skills which you are seeking, or which areas you are seeking. Suppose you're seeking a software engineer job, you're seeking a management job. Fine. So your skills or your resumes should have all those relevant skills there. So that is what makes your resume powerful. That is very, very basic thing, very understandable thing, that yes, your resume will be powerful if you have all those relevant skills. It's very common. But when we are talking that, suppose you are applying for a software developer job, but your resume should have important keywords related to that job. Why these keywords are important? See, I have bolded this keyword. Why this keyword is important? Because the keyword will help you to pass through the ATS system, because software which is initially scanning your resume, they are not going to read the structure of your sentences which you have written. They are going to find out those keywords which are relevant to the job detail. And if the software is able to find sufficient number of those keywords in your resume, they will approve your resume for next step. Otherwise, they will reject your resume. So your resume should be powerful. It should have all the relevant skills and all the keywords which are necessary to bypass the ATS system, application tracking system. Fine. So these two processes, if you do in your resume is going to get stand out. But the question is, how can I make my resume powerful? How can I accommodate important keywords? How to identify the keywords for ATS system? That is the thing to understand, right? You need to understand that how should I place those keywords in my resume? How can I make my resume powerful? So we are going to work upon that thing. There is a scientific number of steps which you need to perform, and those steps will make your resume powerful and full of keywords also. That we are going to discuss. Okay, let's see. See, when you're talking about resume, or whenever you're talking about a job or a career, your job or career or resume is having certain core skills. And those core skills are like the wheels of a car. See, what are wheels of a car do? It takes a car or a passenger from one location to another location. Similarly, your core skill is going to get you from jobless to achieving a job. Fine, achieving an offer. So core skills is going to relocate you from one destination to another destination. So these core skills are simply like the wheels of a car. They are going to move your career ahead. And there is a surprising fact I would like to present in front of you, that suppose if I share my resume to some HR manager, they are not going to scan your read your resume for like 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Fine. They will just look your resume. This is again an average figure, that your resume will be read for just 6 seconds, I would say, because those are the people, they are reading resumes throughout their day. So they have been so habitual, they look for key areas on the resume, and then they will shortlist or reject the resume. So your resume will be read just for 6 seconds, and only you have that 6 seconds to make a mark, to make an impact. Fine. So how can I make my resume impactful just in 6 seconds? That we are going to talk about by including your core skills, obviously. Fine. Now, what you need to do is, you can identify that these are the core skills for my job, and you should have to place those core skills in the key areas. If you see a resume, this is a template of a resume I'm using. This is a template of a resume I'm using here. You can see I have highlighted some of the sections. These are the key areas on a resume. and some experts who is going to read the resume, he is going to see these areas only, right? So these areas will be looked by the expert, and what, as a job applicant, what you should do is you should put your core skills in these areas. So without wasting a lot of time of the reviewer or the person who is reading your resume, he is going to reach those core skills which you are possessing already. So this is how you can make an impact just in 6 seconds, right? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Let's start our resume our discussion. So I was talking about core skills, and I was talking about the key areas on a resume. Since the person is going to read your resume for just 6 seconds, so I should make sure that those 6 seconds will help or will let the reader to see those core skills, right? So that is the first thing to understand. Now, next, what I would like to tell you is these areas these areas on the resume should, speak out loud about your core skills, and those core skills should be, a match for the organization also. That organization, the person who is reading your skills, should understand that this guy, this person has that thing which they are looking for organization to thrive. Their organization is looking for a certain set of skills, fine, and this person whose resume I'm reading, all of the core skills, all of the required skills is possessed in this resume. So they will definitely shortlist your resume for maybe for the next round, maybe for the interview round or the GD round, right? So this is how you should place your core skills in these key areas. That is the importance I would like to, tell you. And this is just a scenario. I'm going to take an example also. Let's take an example. Let's say this is a person, this is a guy who is going to make a CV, make a resume. Fine. Now, the name of the guy is Harry, and he's looking for a role of a web developer. Now, there could be different roles as per your profile, also as per your aspirations, also. Fine. Now, what Harry does is he's going to, on different job portals looking for job, and he found out certain job descriptions. Harry went to certain job portals and he found out certain job descriptions posted by different companies. But see, before moving here, I would like to know whether you people are aware about job descriptions. Have you seen any job descriptions? Please respond to my question. I'm asking whether you are aware about job description, right? What is job description? You might have seen different job descriptions also, right? Correct. See, this job description thing is going to help you in making your resume. That is why I'm, highlighting over this point. Now, when you see a job description, similarly, Harry has seen a job description posted by companies. Before applying, he read the job description, right? Now, what Harry did next, he has seen this job description listed out. So what he did is he highlighted certain areas on the job description. Harry has highlighted certain areas on the job description: design and develop, agile, define test plan, analytical skills and decision making ability to work in a team. So these are certain points which Harry has highlighted, and he understood that these are the key requirements for the job, which he found from the job description. And then what Harry did is Harry has made a kind of a list of key requirements from the job description. Now Harry has this list of key requirements. Now he understood that if these key requirements are available in his resume, he can get through for the interview round, right? So somehow Harry has placed these key requirements in his resume, in his CV, right? So this will help. Suppose a person who is hiring for this position, that person will read through the, the CV of Harry, and he will find out all the key requirements for the job, and definitely Harry is going to get a call, right? So this is one way of understanding the core skills required for a job and placing those core skills in the key areas of your resume. This is what we were talking about. What that core skills are just like the wheels of your wheels of a car, which is going to take you through. Now, first of all, you have to understand which core skills are required, and job descriptions are the way for it. You can find the job description, you can find the core skills, and then try to place it judiciously on your resume. Right? Now, how to do this thing? This could be like, मैं बोल तो रहा हूँ, but इसको कैसे apply करना है? Fine. So for that, I have planned an activity also. मैं आपके सामने एक activity plan place करता हूँ, and you can see that we can adapt or we can perform this method for different scenarios also, right? So what could be an activity? Let's try to see. Okay, let us reverse engineer your skills. That means we are going to make CV, but CV बनाने से पहले हम job description देखते हैं, हम job देखते हैं क्या job निकला हुआ है, and then we will try to make a CV, right? This is the correct way also. So what we have done is, here we have taken 2 sample job descriptions, and job description say we will try to find core skills, top 6 core skills from the job description we are going to identify, right? So I'm going to open a job description. I'll let you read also. I'll give you like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Read that job description, and आप अपने साथ में कहीं पे पेन और पेपर पे, everybody, कहीं पे भी पेन और पेपर पे आप जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन से कोई भी 6 टॉप स्किल्स जो आपको लगते हैं आप कहीं पे मेंशन कर लीजिए. फाइन. फिर हम उसको डिस्कस करते हैं कि क्या वो जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन हम सबके कॉमन आ रहे हैं जो हमने टॉप 6 स्किल्स की हम बात कर रहे हैं. सो लेट मी ओपन दिस. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Okay, please let me know if you can see my new screen where I have written job description 1. Are you able to read my screen where I have written job description 1? I have just shared my screen again. Okay, and is it readable? Okay, fine. Now see, this is an activity. Everybody must participate to get maximum benefit of this workshop. जो आप time यहाँ पे लगा रहे हैं, तो you should get rewarded for your time also. So let us do this activity. Read this first job description available here. Now a job description, एक job description को read करने का एक perfect way है, एक तरीका है. What is that way of reading a job description? When you see a job description, the initial part of a job description is about the company. कंपनी या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बारे में इनिशियल पार्ट में जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन में बताया जाता है. लेटर ऑन इन द सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ द जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन, इट इज most of the job description consists of the position, details of the position, that what is the position they are looking to hire. Okay, they might tell you about the company's culture, position requirements. So everything will be written in the initial part of the job description. Then that will come to the specific part of the job description, that इस पोजीशन के लिए what are the specific requirement. So this is the next part of the job description. What is the specific requirement? And जब जैसे आप later on नीचे जाने लग जाएंगे, you will see what are the essential eligibility norms or eligibility skills. Suppose B.Tech चाहिए इसके लिए, MBA बच्चा चाहिए, so skills mention करते हैं. Fine. So एक job description को if you break a job description, you will find details of the company, where the company might be culture of the company will be mentioned, company when it was first started, who are the founding members. These things may be written in the first part of the job description. Second part, the details of the position, that what kind of personality, what kind of person they are looking for this particular role which they are looking to hire. And second, the third part, they might mention about the skills which are required for the job. And in the last part, they are mentioning the eligibility for this job. So every job description more or less looks like this. Fine. So अगर आपको structure पता है job description का, then it is easier to read the job description. Now let us start to read the job description. Everybody can read the job description also. So company name is Venmo. They are looking for iOS engineer. The location is New York. So the company is founded on the principles of breaking down the intimidating barrier around the financial transaction to make them intuitive. So see, this is the core value of the company, which is mentioned in the very initial part, that they are there for breaking down the barriers in financial transaction. So this company is looking for this kind of work. Fine. And it worked. People love sending money with Venmo, and they are growing by leaps and bounds. So this is the culture company has created, right? But we are only just getting started. We want to take the magic of sending money with Venmo and cascade it into every place where people use money. That means connecting people to their, see again, company, what kind of cult a company wants to create. So that has been mentioned here. So the whole philosophy of the company is mentioned in the very first paragraph. I understood from here. Now from this, what do you think that if a person, suppose if I'm applying for this job, what kind of people this company is going to hire? A person who is intuitive, who is friendly, who is fun, right? So such kind of person they might be looking for from the culture they have presented here, right? Second paragraph, if I move to engineering at Venmo. So working on the cutting edge app that is used by millions of people love. At Venmo, we are looking for engineer who want to be inspired and inspires other to change the world of payment, right? So such as a person they need who is himself or herself inspiring and can inspire others also, who could be a team leader maybe, right? You can understand what kind of skill is required. A soft skill is a leadership kind of quality, right? Engineering is a craft at Venmo, and we want the internals of our software to be as elegant as the end user experience we are designing. Okay, we teach and learn from one another. Again, you can see, what do you understand, what kind of skill is required? A kind of a team building, team activity. Okay, push each other to be at our creative and at our analytical best. Okay, so such is the requirement for this particular job, that what kind of nature a person should possess for this kind of job. So again, this is mentioned regarding to the job specifics. Now coming to the part of they are presenting the skills which are required. Fine, we are looking for an iOS engineer who will be responsible for making engineering design decisions and developing features pertaining to application. Now, this is kind of a core skill which is required. Fine, designing and decision making for this kind of job, a core skill, I could say. You will also be expected to be a role model on coding standards, tools, platforms, and other best practices. So these are now hinting towards some core skills. Now, what could be those core skills? Advanced technical standards and quality. The person must know technical standards and quality parameters, collaborate with other engineer in API design and development. This could be a core skill. A person must know API design and development. A person must be able to solve bugs, track software defects, so bug detection, right? So this could be another core skills. Building solutions for refactoring the existing code base. So code base ko refactor karna aana chahiye. Second, this is another kind of a core skill. Improving our testing and tooling, interface with product and functional team and their leadership. So again, a team building kind of activity. So these are the required skills, I would say, which has been mentioned, core skills. Now, what other things are mentioned? It is about the eligibility. A person should have a bachelor's in computer science or related field, should have an experience of somewhere around 5 years in software development or related field, experience working. Again, you can see some of the very specific things for this job position. Experience working in Swift, Objective-C, and strong object-oriented programming skills, right? So experience with entire software development lifecycle, familiarity with UI design. So very specific things regarding this job. So you can see that this particular job description is asking you some relevant things, some soft skills and some core skills. So since you have read this whole entire job description, I would like to ask all of you who are participating in this activity, can you list out I would say 6 core skills which you can identify, which is a must अगर आप उसको अपने resume में डालेंगे, so it is more relevant for this job. What are the 6 skills you see from this job description which is relevant for this job और इसको आपके resume में होना चाहिए? I can understand most of you, some of you might not be from software engineer, मैं भी नहीं हूँ software engineer, but from reading this resume, I can find out certain 6 or 7 core skills which is must for this job. So you are invited to the chat box. आप इसमें लिखिए please कि what do you think कि what are the 6 skills which is a must. Somebody has written, Rideep has written, iOS UI design is one of the core skill which must be included in the CV, right? Coding must be included in the CV. Leadership, yes, leadership is included. Software development. So other answers also include iOS engineer, test UI design principle, problem solving, leadership, creative and analytical skills, team leader, team leader, backend developer, agile. So agile, yes, agile was mentioned in this. Creative skills, designing skills was mentioned. Yes. Decision making, correct. Team building, yes. Company core value is also team building. Okay. So somebody again answered leadership, analyticals, software development, team building. Sure, I can scroll down. See, when you are reading a job description, not just this one, maybe suppose आप किसी job के लिए apply कर रहे हैं, try to identify at least 6 core skills. 6 core skills apply at least identify करिए. So somebody has written, Sayyid Furqan has written, leadership, developer, proper planning. Proper planning. Okay. Okay. Fine. So these are the things innovative Suparna has written. Innovative API design. I was looking for this answer. API design and development. Kanika has written. Very true. Swift Objective C could be mentioned here. Right. So see, you people are able to identify the core skills. Somebody has again written SDLC having hands-on experience on programming language listed, teamwork, analytical skills, problem solver, and API. So you people are there. You people are there. You could identify what are the core skills you can find out or you can extract from this particular job description. See, I myself also has read this job description, and in my presentation, I tried to input this thing. So again, I'm back to my presentation. Are you able to see my presentation? Give me a yes if you're able to see my presentation. Thank you, Rideep. Thank you. All right. So what I will do is, along with you, I also read this job description, and what I was able to do is, I was also able to list out 6 skills from the job description, and which a job seeker also must put in their resume for this particular role. So what are those 6 skills? And you can match your answers also. See, the first skill, which was, you see that there was a repeated team kind of activity in the whole job description, even in the company value, in the engineering section value, even in the skill section also. Team kind of thing was written. So I can make a statement like developing in a team environment. They need a person who can develop in a team environment or develop a team environment. That could be a top skill from the job description, I can say. It's a top match, I would say, right? Do you agree? That time and again, it was repeatedly mentioned in the job description about team building, right? Second, I would say designing and building with APIs, because in the very initial skill section, in the very first or second point, APIs was mentioned. So a person should be proficient in designing and building APIs. Person should be able to and finding bugs, right? In the eligibility section, it was mentioned person should be able or should be competent in object-oriented programming skills like Swift and Objective-C. A person should be able to build and maintain mobile application. iOS developer ka baat tha, right? And proficient in software development lifecycle. I could say these are my perception. As per my perception, these are the top 6 skills as per the match of the job description. Do you agree or not? Please let me know. These could be the top 6 skills, right? Similarly, you can see, I'll share this presentation also. So, or even suppose you can go to any job portal, naukri.com or some other job portal. You can find out any job descriptions. After this workshop, you read those job descriptions and try to identify at least 6 job skills, 6 core skills from those job descriptions. Fine. आप सपोज किसी एक पर्टिकुलर पोजीशन के लिए खुद के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हैं तो उससे रिलेवेंट कुछ जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शंस को स्कैन करिए, स्कैन दोस जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शंस एंड ट्राई टू आइडेंटिफाई 6 skills from the job description, and then assess yourself. Do your CV contain those 6 skills? Okay, so that is the first part of introspection. That is my first activity. Also, I would like all of you to participate, and I'm happy that all of you has participated well, because this is how we are going to start making our CVs also. Let us move to the next section. Now the thing is, you are able to read. Now you know that how to read the job description. Now next thing is optimizing your resume in the age of algorithms, in the age of ATS. Okay, in the age of AI, how will you optimize your resume? And in the very beginning, I have told you that your resume should be, full of keywords. Keywords again are essential part of a resume in the age of algorithms. So that is how we are going to optimize our resume. So there is a fixed set of steps. आपको कुछ steps हैं जो fixed steps हैं जो आपको perform करने. Those steps you have to perform, and then by performing those steps, you can optimize your resume also. Now, what are those fixed steps? Let's see. See, these are the 5 steps which we will also perform I will one by one, I will explain all of these 5 steps. And if you can perform these 5 steps with your resume will be, optimized for the ATS system also, right? First of all, you have to find the matching language. Now, when I say find the matching language, what does this means? When you read a job description, you try to understand the theme of the job description also. In the previous example, which we have seen, they were looking for a kind of a friendly team building, team developer kind of a person. So your resume or the sentences which you are going to write in your resume, that should match the theme of the job description also. So you have to look for the keywords in the job description, and you must include those keywords in your resume also. So this is how you will match the language of the job description, right? Second is identify the buzzwords. Now, for identifying the buzzwords, what you need to do is either you can read the job description, you can go to the company's website, you can read out the vision and mission page of the company's website. And once you do such things, you will be able to find certain repeated words. Those words are repeated one and again on the website also, on the vision mission also, on the job description also. So try to identify those buzzwords, okay? And try to include those buzzwords in your resume. So keywords and buzzwords. So keywords are there जो कि core skills से match करेंगे, and buzzwords could be like the words they are repeating that could be present in their mission and vision. So they will understand that you have researched into a depth जहाँ पे आपका रिज्यूमे उस चीज को सिंक्रोनाइज कर रहा है, कंपनी की मिशन विजन को सिंक्रोनाइज कर रहा है, कंपनी के वेबसाइट को सिंक्रोनाइज कर रहा है, कोर वैल्यूज को सिंक्रोनाइज कर रहा है, राइट? Use solid titles when you write your, like, say if you're if you're writing your internship experience in your resume. So instead of writing internship experience, write a React internship, okay? Write a title like supply chain internship. So instead of writing a simple layman term internship or very common term, try to be more precise towards the terms which you are using. So use very solid titles which is directly making an impact instead of writing general terms, right? Now, what kind of job you are applying? Nowadays, every job has certain kind of software which is which is going to make your task easier. Once you're getting that job, those softwares are going to help you in making your task easier. So whatever kind of job you are applying for, try to find out that what kind of softwares are useful in that job, and try to list those softwares in your resume also. Suppose if I'm applying for a non-tech job, so even in a non-tech job, maybe Excel, maybe Google Sheet, maybe Office, fine. These are the softwares which are essential for most of the jobs in the industry nowadays. So at least try to list those softwares in your resume. Okay. Once you write your resume, try to take an audit of the keywords. When I say audit of the keywords, so I hope you people are familiar with the term audit. Audit means you count the keywords, you count the frequency of the keywords. So you see the count of the keywords in the job description. If you see a particular term, let's say team building, a team player is repeated one again and again in the job description. So that means that work has a higher weightage in the job. So try to repeat that keyword in your resume also that many times or more times, I would say. Fine. So try to take a keyword audit that you have included most of the keywords which is there in the job description, and as per the weightage of that keyword also. जो keyword सबसे ज़्यादा बार repeat हुआ है job description में या website पे, so try to emphasize on that keyword more in your resume also. Fine. So this is how you audit on the keywords. I hope I'm making a sense here. So if you could, yes, somebody has asked the question, sir, please once again repeat a solid title. Okay, solid title को explain करते हैं. And is there any other questions? Let us try to see. Okay. Okay, Suparna, thank you for this question. A very valid question also, that I have written use solid titles. Now, if I move forward, I'll try to put an example also. Just a second. Okay. Now, Suparna, see, or everybody, try to understand that when you make a resume, on your resume, you try to write a section where you give like internship or project section, or if you give a previous work experience section, right? All of us, we include that section in our resume. Okay. Now, let's say if I'm making my resume and I have included a section of internship. So I would write internship and then I'll start writing the bullet points that internship on that or internship on that. This so better, like in an internship, you might have done a project. Okay, let's say for example, take an example of internship on a front end development for a website, right? So in that case, instead of writing a development internship or front end development internship, I would write like what was the output of that project or that internship. You may can write like internship on creating a e-commerce website. Okay, so you can say it is very much clear from the title only that the person has worked on building a e-commerce website. Okay, you can write internship on data analysis app. Fine. Now, data analysis app again is a very general term, but what kind of data you have studied? So if you can include that kind of data, the output of that exercise in your title, so that will help you in getting more views, more attention. Somebody has written no internship direct start the job, so define use solid titles. So see, I'm just giving an example, Dhruv, also that if you are having internship, so try to be specific कि आपने क्या internship करा, वो internship का output क्या था. So try to include that output in the title itself. Even that is similar for the job also. आप जो job कर रहे हैं, for example आप कोई job कर रहे हैं, उस job में आपका क्या रोल है? आपका रोल हो सकता है सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर का है. फाइन. सो आप उसको ट्राई करिए कि आपके जो जॉब का आउटकम है उसको अपने टाइटल के साथ इंक्लूड कर दीजिए. सो आउटकम को जब आप टाइटल के साथ इंक्लूड कर देंगे, यू हैव मेड इट वेरी स्पेसिफिक कि आपका ये वाला जो पॉइंट है, क्या पॉइंट को रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहा है. तो वो अटेंशन ग्रैबिंग होगा. फाइन. सो यू हैव टू ग्रैब द अटेंशन ऑफ अ पर्सन हु इज रीडिंग. So that is why I've recommended to use the solid title. आपने टाइटल डाल दी, डिटेल आपको नीचे डालना है, उसके बुलेट पॉइंट्स नीचे डालेंगे. So उसमें हम ज्यादा कीवर्ड्स को यूज करेंगे, बट एटलीस्ट टाइटल मेरा सॉलिड हो गया, सो दैट द पर्सन हु इज रीडिंग ही इज डायरेक्टली कमिंग टू दैट सेक्शन कि यार ये क्या लिखा हुआ है इसमें, राइट? सो दैट इज हाउ वी नीड टू मेक द टाइटल सॉलिड. ट्राई टू बी मोर स्पेसिफिक, आउटपुट के बारे में लिखिए उस टाइटल में, राइट? Sayed Furkan has written, sir, can you tell me the industry experience matter or relevant domain experience matter if we go in other domain or in other company? Sayed Furkan, this is a question like this could be a different question from the point of view which we are reading, which we are taking here, but still I would like to answer this question. See, if you're applying for a job, first of all, the important thing is what is mentioned in the job description. If they are looking like in the previous job description, they have mentioned 5+ experience in the software development field. Now they have written 5+ years of experience. Now that experience that experience could include a complete full-time job role which a person might be doing. Nowadays, people also do freelancing for software development. Fine. So if you might have developed a project on your own, maybe not for any other company. So if you have developed it and if you can prove it that you have developed it yourself, you can include that also in your experience, right? Suppose if I'm looking for switching the domain, for switching my roles. So for switching the roles, you can say that I don't have a relevant experience for that domain. I'm just switching now. But for before switching, you have to show certain skill you have built. वो सिर्फ किताबें पढ़ के आप स्किल्स को नहीं शो कर सकते. वेयर यू हैव अप्लाइड दोस थियोरेटिकल एस्पेक्ट्स, तो उसके लिए क्या प्रोजेक्ट्स आपने किए हैं, फिर आप क्या इंक्लूड किया ऑन योर ओन ऑल्सो. सो दैट कुड ऑल्सो बी काउंटेड एज एक्सपीरियंस इफ यू हैव समथिंग टू शो फॉर. इज इट ओके, सैयद फुरकान? Okay. So what I was telling all of you, and please, remember these 5 points for optimizing, because I'm going to revisit them again later on, that you have to find the matching language, identify the buzzwords, use the solid titles, include relevant softwares, and take the audit of the keywords. Okay. Now, when I say find the matching language, so writing the text which you are writing on your resume, the content which you are writing on a resume, those content should be powerful. See, if you remember the very first thing I have told you, to make your resume stand out, your resume should be powerful and it should have sufficient keywords. So how can you make your resume powerful? So by including more powerful content. Okay, so how to make your content powerful? So I'm just giving an example here. See, words generally draw picture in the minds of the reader, right? When I say, let's say example, I say sustainable energy. So if you close your eyes and if you repeat this word sustainable energy, you might get a picture, or you might get an image of solar panels, wind turbines. Okay, such kind of images can pop out in your mind with this term of sustainable energy. So whenever you say certain words, they will draw certain kind of pictures. Similarly, if a person is reading your resume, he's quickly reading through your resume, and if you have included certain powerful words or powerful languages, so those things will draw images in the mind of the reader also. And we must make sure that we are going to use those powerful words. I have created a toolkit for identifying the powerful languages. I'll show you how to use them. Okay, just a second. Similarly, using powerful words show success and trust in action. So when you use those powerful words, it will draw picture in the mind of the reader. It will show that yes, you have done successfully those things, and there is a trust development in the mind of the reader, right? It will also supercharge the body. Now, there is another set of steps which you can do to supercharge the content of your body. How can you supercharge the content of a body? Now, I'll ask a question to all my audience present in front. I would like to know that if you are writing a content about yourself, so what do you think, what particular thing you can include in your content to make your content more trustable? अगर आप अपने बारे में कुछ लिख रहे हैं तो उसको कैसे ज्यादा ट्रस्टेबल बना सकते हो आप? What are the things in the content which you can include to make it more trustable? Anyone? अगर आप अपने बारे में, आपने कोई पास्ट में एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में आप अपने रिज्यूमे में लिख रहे हैं और यू आर राइटिंग यू आर इंक्लूडिंग सर्टेन थिंग्स अबाउट योरसेल्फ इन योर रिज्यूमे, so how can you make it more trustable? Core skills, see, core skills we are writing, suppose I can also write Angular in my resume, but how a person will, will trust more? Effective vocabulary, how can you make your effective vocabulary effective? Hasina, how can you make your effective vocabulary effective? Komalpreet has written references. Yes, references is one of the way to make your content more trustable, but आप हर जगह references, हर line के बाद references नहीं डाल सकते हैं. We can write personality specific words. Okay. See, I would like to take your minds towards a point. Whenever you see a data in an article, कोई भी आप article पढ़ रहे हैं, and if you see a kind of a data relevant to the article, you generally, what is your intent is you start to trust upon that article, that these percent of people have done this kind of job. So if you see some numbers, some data, so you try to start to gauge certain kind of a trust in that statement. So even what kind of, yes. So what will happen when you're writing certain things about yourself, and if if you justify those roles, if you justify your skills with certain kind of data, okay, then a kind of a trust is built. So whenever you're writing yourself about yourself, there are certain ingredients in your content. अगर आप इन content में, अपने content में इन ingredients को add करेंगे, your content will become supercharged and more trustable. For example, if you're writing about your previous job role, so उसमें अगर आप brand को integrate कर दें, आप उसमें quantities, numbers डाल दें, percentage डाल दें, थोड़ा detailing डाल दें, fine. So that will make your body content more trustable. It will make you your content supercharged also. I will give you example also कि कैसे brands या quantification या detailing कर सकते हैं. See, you have to understand that when you are writing a content, you should understand what, when, why, whom, how you have done this thing. So you should ask yourself कि अगर मैं ये point लिख रहा हूँ तो इसका क्या सारे questions मैं answer कर पा रहा हूँ? What, when, how, who, why, whom, where. Fine. So if you can answer all of these questions, so this will be there only. See, for whom you have done this thing, how much you have done this thing, okay, how you have done this thing. So you can answer all of these questions and you can write, supercharge your content. इसका एक example मैं आपको देना चाहूंगा. For example, I will take the same example जो हमने job description के लिए लिया था. उसमें a person can write, suppose a person is applying for the job and he can write that I have developed an iOS app for a group of scientists. So this is a very common way of writing this line about yourself on your resume, that I have helped an iOS app. I have helped develop an iOS app for a group of scientists, right? Now, see this statement. Yes, see this statement is correct. This statement is not wrong. It is correct, but it is not that powerful. Okay, it is not supercharged. So how I can make this statement more powerful? See, using certain powerful words, integrating brands, okay, quantification, detailing. Instead of writing, I have helped developed an iOS app for the group of scientists. See, a strong, a powerful word is used. Collaborated. Collaborated with a team of some number could be written. What was the team size to develop an iOS app for some here you can write the name of the organization, the company for which who have developed the app, fine, which was successfully launched. Now detailing is also there, on which date it is launched, and it is downloaded this many time in just in these months, fine. So these detailing will help in gaining the trust also, that this was something which was actually done. It is actually held, fine, in the past. So this person has powerfully explained his role. आपने अपना जॉब रोल एक पावरफुली एक्सप्लेन कर दिया यहाँ पे अपने रिज्यूमे में. So do you see a difference between writing a common way and writing your job role in a powerful way? Are you able to see the difference? See, this is how the words could make a difference. Let me know if you are trying to understand, or if you are understanding the key, how powerfully you can write your job descriptions or any other kind of content which you are including on your CV. So how do you include them? Right. So the question which I have asked initially is whether do you think your resume is competent enough for applying for the job, and the people who were answering yes, try to introspect yourself at this point only, that whether your content is also just like this first example or the second example, right? Try to identify or analyze your resume side by side. See, here we have included powerful words, we have included brand names, quantification, and detailing. So same way, whenever you're writing some content, some statement in your resume, try to integrate these ingredients in your content. Right. Now, just like in the previous example, I have shown you that instead of writing "I have helped develop an iOS app," I can write a powerful word "collaborated." So there is a toolkit which I was able to compile to suggest some powerful word whenever you're writing some powerful word. So what are those keywords which could be helpful for different job roles? I was able to compile it. Let me just show you. Is my Google Chrome screen is visible to you? Aisha is asking, just a second. That means need to change some content with every job description. Aisha, if you want your resume to be shortlisted, there is some kind of minor changes you must do every time you're applying for different job as per the job description. I will help you to make this process easier. Instead of making a common Word document for your resume, we are going to make our resume on the docs, Google Docs. आप Google Docs पे इस resume को बना के रख लीजिए, और मोबाइल से भी आप उस कंटेंट को चेंज कर सकते हैं. फाइन. This is easier. Instead of having a offline PDF or a Word document, try to keep your resume on the Google Docs. Right. So see, you can see this PDF in front of you. Here I have written list of power words. Now, why these power words? Because see, whenever you are explaining your job role, or whenever you're explaining your previous roles, maybe your internship or something else. So these are the words which generally draw attention to the mind of the reader. Like in the previous case, collaborated was one of the words. Suppose you are looking for a leadership kind of a job role. So there you can use these kind of words: administered, analyzed, assigned, shared. Similarly, like if your job role includes communication more, fine. So there you can use powerful words like arranged, authored, co-authored, curated, drafted, right? If you are applying for a job which is more relying on research kind of activities, so there you can use these kind of words: analyzed, assessed, clarified, collected, critiqued. Similarly, for design kind of roles, these are the words. For creative roles, you can use these kind of words. Suppose you are applying for a teaching kind of role, so you can use these kind of words. If your job includes financial or accounting activities, you can use these kind of words. So these are the list of words which I was able to compile, and you must use these words whenever you're writing a kind of a content on your resume. There are certain examples also I have presented here, like how you naturally say a word. This was the example we have already seen. There are certain more examples. See how you naturally say this thing: I raised $5,000 for a disaster relief fund. This could be one of your job description. But how to say it more effectively in a powerful manner? See, there is a power word which is used: spearheaded. Okay, spearheaded, again a leadership kind of a word. Fine. Spearheaded a 5,000 fundraising effort to assist victims of something. Now here you can write and see, if you remember, I was telling you brand. Now this is a thing where brand is not included, but at least some name of the organization you can write, some name of the disaster you can write. So some detailing, some branding is available here. Disaster by promoting a message through something or something. Fine. So how you have spreaded the message? What was the mechanism you have used to make a direct appeal to these many donors? So numbers we have included. Fine. So this is how you can make your content more powerful. There's one more, example. I did original research on the effect of gender in hiring decision. So it's a very common statement. How to, supercharge this statement? So instead of this, we can use a powerful word, performed. Performed original research on the effect of gender in hiring decision by collecting, analyzing, summarizing data points, source of data to assess the research led by, see, even the name of the research head is also mentioned, institute name is mentioned. So again, those three things, okay, some brand name, some data, and the detailing, and a powerful word. So these four things must be there in each kind of content you are writing on a resume. I hope I have given a sufficient number of examples. Yes, I will share this word toolkit with you. Yes, even see nowadays, like chat gpt or some other kind of generative AI tools are available, so they can also generate some effective statement for you. So you can make use of also them. So आप अपना sentence उसको दे दीजिए and try to ask him कि generate a effective word or powerful sentence out of this. So they can also help you, but still you उसको आपको vet करना पड़ेगा, खुद ही verify भी करना पड़ेगा whether that statement is relevant or not. Fine. So these are certain methods by which you can make the content of your resume more powerful, right? So let me move back to my presentation. I hope my presentation is visible. Okay. Okay, so again, an activity. We have done one activity. Now it's the time for second activity. Now try to think about your recent career related experience. Okay. Now recently you might have done kind of an internship, kind of a project, maybe capstone project or some other kind of project. So try to think about a recent career related experience. Now try to align what was the most important in that experience with your highest priority skills. You have to reframe the experience for it to fit the skills. If it can align, move to a lower. See, basically what I want to say is, suppose आपने कोई लास्ट में कोई प्रोजेक्ट या कोई वर्ड कोई एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा, मे बी एज एन इंटर्नशिप और even in your job. So try to list out the top 6 skills you have applied to do that job or to that work. कौन से वो 6 skills थे जो आपने अप्लाई करे टू कंप्लीट दैट जॉब. नाउ आफ्टर लिस्टिंग दो स्किल्स, आप उन स्किल्स के लिए एक एक सेंटेंस बना के देखिए. Okay. Now, when you're making a sentence, when you're making a content for that, implement the powerful word, implement the detailing, implement the data, and implement the brand name. Okay. So इस activity को आप separately एक बार करके देखिएगा. Regarding your recent career related experience, identify 6 skills. Suppose एक skill आपने लिख लिया कि team building या leadership, एक skill हो गया. अब उस leadership को explain आप करेंगे एक point में. So उस point में leadership को आपने कैसे explain करा? तो उसके लिए एक powerful word, brand, डेटा एंड डिटेलिंग. फाइन. ये तीनों चीजों को इंक्लूड करिए, एक सेंटेंस फ्रेम करिए. सिमिलरली हर एक 6 स्किल्स के लिए आप इस सेंटेंस को फ्रेम करिए. एंड सी, दिस इज द वे आप अपने रिज्यूमे में भी करने वाले हैं. सो दिस इज काइंड ऑफ अ स्किल आई वुड लाइक ऑल ऑफ यू टू डू सेपरेटली आफ्टर दिस वर्कशॉप. बट दिस इज एन एक्टिविटी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आप इसको करके देखेंगे तो आपका रिज्यूमे भी साथ साथ बनता जाएगा. राइट. हियर इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑल्सो. सी, अगर सपोज लास्ट मैंने कोई काम किया था एंड दैट वर्क वाज रिलेटेड टू एनालाइजिंग डेटा, सो द की स्किल इज एनालाइजिंग डेटा. नाउ हाउ टू राइट दिस एनालाइजिंग डेटा एज अ कंटेंट इन माय रिज्यूमे? आई कैन राइट दैट enabled, a powerful word, enabled the creation of large Excel database built with data point gathered from Security and Exchange Commission SEC website on 200 publicly traded companies and used the database to analyze goodwill impairment calculation made by the firm during 2010s. Fine. So this is a sentence I have made based on the skill. Now, a question to all of you. You can read this statement. Now try to identify key which one is the power word here. Hasina, I'll answer this question at the end of my workshop. Thank you for asking. Okay, enabled is the power word. Very good. Alang has written enabled is the power word. Correct. Now, can you identify the brand which I have used in my statement or some kind of name? Yes, SEC. See, I have done this work for Security and Exchange Commission. This is the brand. Very good. Now, data, see, you can see 200 publicly traded companies. So this is the data I have compiled. This is the database I have compiled. So data is also available. And detailing is, I have used this database to analyze what? Goodwill impairment. This is a kind of a taxation system, right? Goodwill impairment calculation. So this data is used to calculate goodwill impairment. So this is detailing. So you can see every four things which I was asking you: power, brand, data, and detail. So these things must be included in all the bullet points which you are writing in your resume. I hope you are getting my point कि आप कोई भी skill को justify कर रहे हैं अपने resume में, at least write a statement which includes all of these things. We'll try to find out a way, Tanish. आपके साथ एक attendance form या feedback form share करा गया होगा जिसमें आप अपना email ID लिख रहे हैं. So after this end of this workshop, we will try to mail the links of all of these resources to all of you, right? So do fill the feedback so that we can be able to transfer these files to all of you. So as we were mentioning that these are the important things which must be included in the content which you are writing for yourself. There are some more examples. I was able to go to Google में गया था मैं Google Images पे, and I was able to find out certain resume. Now in these resumes also, if I zoom a little bit in this particular section, let's say if I can do. Okay. Now see in this particular section, this is a resume written by some person. Now his recent related jobs is financial project assistant. So he or she is working as a financial project assistant, and see the line they have written, the very first line: assisted in analyzing potential real estate acquisition across X state with deals totaling X millions. So see, जितना possible हुआ उसने power supercharging का, the person has tried to supercharge the statement. Assisted is a powerful word. Okay, now they have included the data, they have included the details also. Brand may be missing in this particular case, but at least 3 out of 4 things is included in the content. Similarly, the next line: assisted HR team finance intern research, 3 out of 4 interns we recruited. So all you can see, almost all of those out of 4, 3 things is at least included. Okay, so this is how. Even there is some other experience, some other example also available with me. You see, for this person, the job role was financial controller, commercial product. So here they have written oversaw data analysis team in identifying this million of revenue leakage. So maybe the brand is not included in the first statement, but they have included a power word, a data, and a little bit detailing. The second point: led engineering project in Latin America resulting in X millions of cost saving. So I hope you're getting that whenever some kind of detail a statement is written related to the skill, related to the job role, related to the internship. So this is the pattern you must follow. At least try to implement all the 4 key ingredients in your statements or in your sentences. I hope it is making some sense. Now let us come to a part where we will start to make our resume, our CVs. Okay, so here you can see I have used certain kind of very general template where you can write your first name, last name, what is your role right now. Okay, it is again optional. So how to convert this general template into a specific template. So साथ के साथ हम we'll try to convert this general template into a specific template. You see, this is a section where we will write executive summary. Now some people might skip the executive summary in their CV. Try to avoid skipping the executive summary. Always try to write the executive summary in your CV. Now, how to write an executive summary in your CV, that we will try to understand by an example. Let's say this is a person, Josh, who is working as a product manager in an organic food firm. Now he is going to write a summary, executive summary for himself, right? So what he can write? This is the general template which I have presented right now. How you can convert is, see, instead of writing, see, he was working as a project product manager, right, in an organic food firm. So his skill summation would be related to some product management, right? So he can write a product managing expert instead of, see, a skill summation. He can write a product managing expert with X years. So how many years? Maybe for 4 years or whatever years he has worked upon of experience in now industry which you want to work out. So experience in food processing and distribution, right? So this is the first statement for the executive summary. What kind of a core skill a person has? A product managing expert, right? For how many long years? Maybe in what kind of industry? Now, the next line, which is again a common line which I have mentioned here, is a unique characteristic professional who specialize in one kind of skill, another kind of skill. So basically, what we need to do is, जब आप job description पढ़ते हैं, you have listed already 6 skills. So try to align those 6 skills over here. The 6 skills which you have identified from the job description, try to put those skills here in the job in the executive summary, right? So what Josh has done, he has written specialized in managing entire product life cycle. So this is a skill, entire product lifecycle managing from scratch. Fine. So this is a kind of a twist he has done in his particular executive summary. So this is how you can also think about writing your own summary. You could say that I don't have any experience. So instead of, instead of having a core experience, I'm not saying that you should have a professional working experience, full-time working experience. You might have experience in working in a project or in an internship. And if you don't, please try to write like what kind of skill you have built. So while building the skill, you might have done certain kind of hands-on experience, hands-on skills practice, right? So at least try to mention those things in this particular part, in this part where you can write what is your core skill, summation of the skills, okay, and what kind of industry you are looking to or you have worked previously, fine. So that you can mention in the executive summary part. Am I making sense, or is there any doubt here? Yes, Rideep, you can. I would be glad if you can share your executive summary. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, let us proceed further. So once you are aware how to write this executive summary, we'll move to the next part. Okay, we have executive summary written by Rideep. Let us just try to have a look on this. What Rideep has written, just a second, let me just zoom it a little bit. Yes. Experienced digital marketing professional with 3.4 years of online marketing, social media optimization, SEO, Google Ads, as well as WIX, CMS design, market research, WordPress, rank math, and Canva experience with increasingly responsible position. Very good. Proven ability to provide value to customers and employers. Very well, Rideep. It's a very optimized summary. Appreciate. See, Rideep has also given his example. So the other people who are there in the audience, try to assess yourself also. Ki what kind of executive summary could be possible for you as per this example. Okay, and that I would consider as an effective summary. And for most of the industry practices also, it would be considered as an effective summary. Okay. So what we have done so far is we understood that how to write the content for your resume, what kind of content must be used, like core skills, how to identify core skills, okay, and how to write your executive summary. So what we have done is we have completed the building blocks of a resume. Resume के building blocks में क्या क्या होता है वो हमने complete कर लिया, and now we will try to assemble all those building blocks to compile your summary. But before finally diving in compiling the resume, let us just try to certain understanding of yours also. What have you understood from the workshop so far? Now, in your resume, should you start to tell your life story? Should you write everything about your life in your resume? Give me a yes or no. So people are saying no, no, no. So I feel that I have an intelligent audience. They are saying no. And why we should not tell our life story? Because I just told you that the person who is reading your resume is going to spend hardly 6 seconds of his time to read your resume. So he's not going to read your entire life story. Once he sees some irrelevant text in your resume, he might, reject your resume. So your resume should not be irrelevant, right? Second question I would like to answer I would like all of you to answer. You should keep your resume in one page anyhow. Your resume should be of one page anyhow. So I have a mixed answer so far. No, yes, yes. Question is, should you keep your resume for one page anyhow? Somebody has written as short as possible. Yes, yes. No, no, yes, yes. See, most of the people are answering yes, and I would also consider yes. See, yes, like again, there is a kind of a situation in this particular case. See, if you are a early person in your career, like you have a experience of 2 years or 3 years, let's say, fine, try to keep your resume for one page. But again, because again, nobody has is going to put a lot of effort to turn pages, to look here and there. So try to keep everything in front of the eye of a person, right, in a concise way. So your resume should be of one page if you are early into your career. But let's say if you have a working experience of 5 years or more than that, and you have done for your work for variety of roles, fine. So in that case, you can have an exception to go to 1.5 to 2 pages. But do not, I would say, do not increase your resume. I have seen resumes of 5 pages, 7 pages, 8 pages also. Your resume is not your portfolio, first of all, right? So do not make your resume more than 2 pages. The upper limit I would cap is 2 pages if you have a sufficiently large working experience. But if you are early into your career, try to keep your resume in one page. Yes, yes, 7 years. And if you have done, see, Rideep, you have experience of 7 years and you have done a variety of work, and all those work which you have done is relevant to a job you're applying, then you can include all of those things and you can cross a limit of one page. But again, if your 7 years work experience is relevant to the job you're applying, suppose if your 7 years work is not relevant to your job you're applying to, so need not to explain every work your experience. You can write your work experience as a single line, but need not to write the bullet point in every part there. Okay, try to explain those work experience which is relevant to the job you're applying to. I hope I'm making sense. Yes, try to keep your resume one page only if you have very early experience, right? Or if your job description is relevant to the job you're applying. Okay. So next doubt could be, see, somebody has asked also about the gap. So this is a question about the gap also. You must not leave any gaps in your education and employment on your resume. Now, there could be situation, we could have people in our audience also where they have, they might have gaps in their employment or education. So the question is, you must cover all those gaps. You must hide those gaps in your resume. Yes. Should we hide the gaps in our resume? You must not leave any gaps in your education. People are saying yes. Suppose initially I did my job for 2 years, then I left my job for some reason and I was not able to work for the next one year. Then after 1 year, I started another job. So should I not mention that 1 year gap in my resume? We should present our gap in a creative way. Very well, Digvijay. Though the creative way could be, a thing to discuss, but yes, the answer is very good, I would say. So the thing is, no, we must not leave any gap in our education, but it's not like we should hide it. Fine. See, if you have like a gap of 1 year or 2 year, it is quite understandable. Even the people who are, who are looking to hire, they would understand that since the job market is not very easy, it is, it is competitive. So they can understand it takes somewhere around 6 months to 1 year to find a better job or find a better position. Fine. So if you have a gap, minute gap, it's okay. It's okay. You can leave it. But if you have a very long gap, you can, you can show, like Digvijay has answered, you can show some creativity in that case. You might be working on some kind of personal affairs, personal agenda. Right? Those things you can write, but do not leave very large gap on your resume. Okay, like you should not keep your resume like 5 years gap or 7 years gap. You should not leave it like that. Right. So you should not leave gaps in your education. Though if your gap is small for 1 year, 6 months, okay, 1.5 year, it's okay. People will understand. Yes. I hope it is clear. Next question is, should you include non-paid job volunteerism in your resume? Like maybe during your education, you might have done some volunteerism. You might have done some non-paid jobs, some social jobs also. So should you include those things in your resume? People are saying yes. Should you include non-paid jobs or volunteerism in your resume? So I have one no so far. Most of you are saying yes. Okay. See, this is also conditional. I would say this is also conditional. And see, base of my answer is again the same. The person is not going to spend 1 minute on your resume. Fine. 6 seconds is they are taking. And in that case, if your job or volunteerism is relevant to the job you're applying, suppose you're applying for a job of social media manager and your volunteerism or non-paid job is also related to something related to social media you have done, then you must write it. But if your job, non-paid job was something which is not relevant to social media manager or marketing, fine. In that case, try to skip it because you need to keep your resume for one page, right? So that is why if your non-paid job or volunteer job is relevant to the job you're applying, you should include it. But if it is not anywhere close to the job you're applying, please avoid it, right? Suparna, you have asked me how to hide 5 years gap. So see, for during the 5 years gap, you might be doing something fine. So how that activity which you were doing, you have to mold it that professionally. How can relate that particular gap which you were showing there or which you were doing there. So you might mention that, but health issue you are not going to write in your resume that you are having health issue. In that case, you can keep as it is. During the interview, if somebody asks, then you can answer this question that you were having certain health issue. Otherwise, leave it. Okay, you have to leave that gap in that particular case, 5 years gap. We are not going to fake on the resume या CV के ऊपर we are not going to be very fake. Okay, we should be very genuine while making our resumes. And for making, see, this whole exercise is making your resume more trustable. And how we are making our resumes trustable? By using powerful words, brands, data, detailing. So these should be there. If your resume is not trustable, obviously it will not be selected, right? So we should be making our resume more trustable and more genuine. Next question is, should you include funky eye-catching email ID on your resume? You might have seen people using very funky eye-catching email ID like cool Rohit, something like that, or something. Some email IDs, I'm just giving an example. So do you use very funky email IDs on your resume? No funky email. You are applying for a professional roles, so your email ID should be as professional as possible, right? So again, a very straightforward answer. You should not use funky email IDs or eye-catching email IDs on your resume. Those email IDs should be as professional as possible. So these are certain tips which we must take care while also compiling our resumes. Another question to all of you. In front of you, I have presented 4 different types of resume. If I number them, let me just number them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I would like to ask all of you that which of the following 4 resumes would you like to select for yourself? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, most of you are answering 2. Someone has answered 4 also. 2, 1 and 2, 1, 3, 2. See, 1 and 4. So I'm getting again a mixed kind of an answer. Yes, 2 is answered mostly by all of you. But if you see other resumes like 1, 3, and 4, there's nothing wrong with them. See, style wise, they are very well made also. Photo is available. Different set of information is also available. But if you see them closely, the information, see, when you're reading this particular resume number 1, 3, or 4, you have to find your answers. As a reader, you have to go to different section and find the answer. Fine, you have to go to different section and find the answer. But when you see the second resume, the format is so simple and straightforward is I can directly find out the key areas on my resume, that these are the key areas on my resume, right? So try to keep your resume as simple as possible so that the reader can reach to the key areas easily. He don't have to look here and there to find your information. That is the one thing, or that is the most important thing to understand in on your resume. Your resume should be easier to navigate. Your resume should be easier to navigate from one section to another section, and the reader don't have to put a lot of effort to find the information from your resume. Fine. So that is why my answer would also be 2, because 2 is a simpler looking format and it is easy for the reader to navigate through this particular resume and it will not distract the viewer. Otherwise, what is happening in second or third or fourth, there are so many design elements on the resume that it may distract as a reader. Fine. So instead of distracting the reader from the design element, we are more, focused on the content which we are presenting on our resume. Suppose if you are applying for some kind of a designer role, graphic designer or some game designer. So in that case, you might go for some kind of a stylish resumes. But since you are going for a professional kind of a job role, it is always better to prefer this kind of a resume, which is simpler looking, and it will not distract the viewer. I hope it is clear. Right? Try to prefer a simpler resume so that it will not distract the reader from the design elements. Now, I have also made one document on making a step-by-step resume. So this is a kind of a guide which will help you to write resume step by step. Already steps we have seen, but we will try to apply those steps in making our resume also. There is this document. I will share this document with you, who will mark attendance and give me their email IDs. Just a second. So basically, this guide, if I open it, this is a PDF, and this PDF consists of, I guess, 10 steps. Okay. And if you follow these 10 steps on your resume, you can optimize your resume. And out of these 10 steps, some of the steps we have already done during the building blocks wala part, but still we are going to do it in our resume also. Just for, a kind of a flow, I'm going to read different steps. So in the step 1, you have to write your name and contact information. So how to write them, those credentials, I will tell you later on. Build your top 6 skills. So you have to identify the top 6 skills you are going to write in your resume. And how do you identify your top 6 skills? From the job descriptions. Okay, from the already skills you have, and from the job descriptions. Try to identify those top skills you need to put in your resume. Enter your job titles, dates, and organization. Suppose if you have any previous working experience, so you have to enter job titles, dates, and name of the organization. And when you're writing a job experience, you must describe each of them. Now, when you are describing each of them, the part where we understood that how to optimize your resume, make your resume powerful. So those things you must take care. Okay, super powerful word, branding, detailing, data. So all of these things must be there in your description. Okay, then integrate the powerful word. That is what I was discussing here also. Write your education, what kind of education you have done. And when you are writing this education, you should always write the latest education first, and then the sequentially you should follow. Okay. Other than education, you might have done some kind of certification courses, some kind of workshops. So you should mention, if those certifications and workshops are relevant, you should mention them in your education section only. See, at the end, you should write your summary. So once you compile all of these things, you should write your summary, so that it will be easier. You have already collected all the points. Now it is easier to write your summary. We have seen how to write the summary already. Fine. And after writing it, you should proofread your CV. It's very important. You will see so many CVs with lot of formatting errors, lot of spelling errors, lot of very common grammatical errors. So always proofread your CVs and try to hyperlink your CV. When I say hyperlink your CV, that means suppose if you're mentioning in your job role, you're mentioning a brand name. So it is better to, link that brand name with the website of the brand. Suppose you have worked for Reliance, so try to hyperlink your Reliance website with the word we are using. How to hyperlink, I'll tell you later on. Okay, and make your resume shareable. So how to make your resume shareable? Suppose if you are having a local PDF of your resume, it is not easy or it is not convenient to share the PDF. it is not convenient to share the local Word file. So better to make your resume on Google Docs so that you can just share the link. Okay, you know how to share the link of your Google documents. So just share the link with anyone and they can read your resume. So make your resume shareable, right? So these are certain steps. I would recommend all of you to read the details of each step so that you can make your resume more effective. Otherwise, we are following these steps in our workshop also. Let me show you how. Now, first of all, suppose after this workshop, you are going to start to make your resume. After this workshop, you're going to make this resume. So there are three options I have given. So first two option is I have given a general resume template for anyone except fresher. Then I have given a template for recent graduate or freshers you can consider. And there are certain sample resumes which you can refer to as an example. For example, if I open any one of the resume template, let's say if I open this one, okay, so it will open here. See, this is a template which I will also share with all of you. मैं इसका link आपके साथ share करूंगा. Now, when you open this link, you might not be able to download this, or sorry, you might not be able to edit this. Okay, आप इसको directly edit नहीं कर पाएंगे. But when you go to file, okay, or suppose if you want to download it, आप just a second, let me put a request here. This is from my another ID. Just a second. The internet is also not connected. Okay, so this is my another ID. I will share this also with all of you, but as a viewer only. Okay, आपको भी ऐसे request edit access आ रहा होगा. So in that particular case, what you can do is either you can download this, but आप जब इसको download करेंगे as a word format download होगा. I would not recommend to all of you. Better what you can do is you can make a copy. Here there's an option of making a copy. Now when you make a copy of this, it will become a copy in your drive, in your personal drive, so that you can edit it also. Fine. So if I make a copy of this, just a second. So when I'm making a copy of this, now I have the editing right of this template also, right? There might be some formatting problem here. Not an issue. So simple formatting is available. Now see, this template is available to in front of me. Now, suppose if you're making this resume for yourself, so what you can do is you can write your name. Let's say my name is Arpit. So I would write my name here, Arpit. My last name is Thakur. Fine. So this is my last name. Now in extras, again, this is optional. Right now, suppose if I'm working as an assistant professor, so I can write my designation here. If you're not working, you can skip it. You can delete this part. You can mention your email ID here. You can mention your LinkedIn profile here. You can mention your phone number here. Okay. Now, this is the part where people can be able to contact you. So you should write, suppose instead of having these things, suppose I also have a portfolio link where I have placed my projects. Those people who are from, let's say, computer application, they might be aware about websites like GitHub or something like some other website where you can place your projects, showcase your projects, portfolios, fine. So you can write the link of your projects also, fine, over here itself. Sure. What I did is, this was the original link. What I did is I made a copy of, by going to the file, I made a copy of this. So when you click on copy, it will make a copy in your personal drive, in your personal Google Drive. Right now it is in my drive. When you click on make a copy, it will make a copy in your personal drive so that you can edit it. Now, while editing, you should write your name. If you have any particular designation right now, you can write. Otherwise, sometimes people also write aspiring data scientist or aspiring designer. So you can write such things also. You can write your email ID. You can give the link to your social media platforms, but professional ones like LinkedIn. Okay. You can write your phone number. Otherwise, if you have any portfolio website, you can write the name of that website also. Fine. So these things you can mention over here in the first part. See, we have already discussed how to write the executive summary, so you can place your executive summary in this section. Fine. From different job descriptions, you can identify at least 6 skills I was talking about during the activity. So you should mention those 6 skills over here. Fine. Let's say if I give an example, let's say team building is one of the skill. So I can write team building. Now, skill number 2 could be, let's say, app development, right? Third skill could be like auditing. So these are the skills which I have identified from the job description. Similarly, I will write the remaining 3 also, right? So this is how you will write the top 6 skills which you have identified after reading the job description. Fine. And then when it comes to a professional experience part, if you have a full-time working experience, then you can mention it. Otherwise, you can go on writing about your project also. You can go on writing about your internship also. In this particular case, it's not mandatory that you should always write only the professional experience. If you're fresher, if you see the template of the fresher students, instead of professional experience, I might have written about projects or internship. Fine. So there you can write the name of your organization. Let's say if I'm working at Lovely Professional University. So I'll write Lovely Professional University. Fine. And from which date to which date I'm working, I will mention here what is my job title. So I will write my job title as now. If you pay attention to closely, you can see some part is bold, some part is capital, some part is bold, but not in capital way. So you should keep the formatting of the entire resume like this. Suppose if I'm writing my first job role, so if this part is bold but not uppercase, so similarly the next part should also be like this only. It's not like somewhere you're giving bold, somewhere you're giving capital, somewhere you're giving unbold. So try to keep the format uniform throughout your CV. Okay, that is one of the tip I would say. Now, see, suppose I have written my job role here, job designation also. Here you can see when I should write some general information about the organization, about the roles and responsibility. Let's say if I'm working at Lovely Professional University as an assistant professor, I can write that assisted or mentored these many students for Lovely Professional University, which is one of India's top private university. I can write a single line like this over here, a very general information. But when it comes to the bulleted points, when you come to the bulleted points, here you can write, see that I have written top 6 skills, number 1. That means whatever the first skill I have mentioned here in my expertise section, I would write it here. I would write team building. Right. So this is my first top skill. Now I should frame a sentence regarding the team building in this particular detail. And I hope all of you are, by this time, you know that how to write a powerful sentence. I should write some powerful word like, let's say, spearheaded. So something related to team building, that means leadership, spearheaded a team of this many people to carry out this project, right? So all of the content which will supercharge your content, that must be added in this particular statement. Powerful word, the brand name, the data, and the detailing. And same you have to do for all the other places also. So like I have already included the first skill, you can go for second skill here, app development maybe, auditing maybe. Okay, so whatever relevant, those core skills must be explained in this particular body. Fine. So you should not only leave these core skills, but you should also relate them with the work you have done. So here I'm relating them with the work I have done. Not only in the professional experience wala part, but also in the project wala part. Even suppose I have done a project. So let's say if I have done a project on, let's say, development of a web page for a e-commerce website. So I can say that, let's say the name of that e-commerce website was, let's say, Flipkart, for example. Okay. So developed landing page for Flipkart. Right? So this is a solid title I was talking about. You should write a solid title. Okay. Now here you should also mention the tools which you have used, the stack which you have used for developing this particular page. Okay, and then see, whenever I have written Flipkart, so I can hyperlink also. See, I can select Flipkart, I can click on right click and insert link. So here I can write the name of the website also, www.flipkart.com. So what will happen now? If I click here, this will take me to the web page of the company. Fine. So this is how you can hyperlink the products, the brands which you have worked upon previously. So this is how your resume will become more genuine, more authentic when you're talking about your resume. In the later on, we can write about the education part. And when you're writing the education part, I have told you you should write the most recent education first, then the subsequent education. And even you can see that I have highlighted this school name also. If your school, if your college has some website, so better to hyperlink the college website name also. Now let's say if I give an example of myself, let's say highest degree which I have done is master in technology. So I'm not writing MTech, I'm not abbreviating it. You should also not write MBA. You should also not write MC. You should write a complete form of your education, right? Now, if you have any specialization, you can mention it over here. Fine. You can mention it over here. Fine. You can write the date of passing also. Let's say I would pass in, let's say 2025. My specialization, let's say was, let's say thermal engineering. Fine. I could write my school name here as Lovely Professional University. I could write the name of the city and the state. Okay, let's say Fagwara and Punjab. So this is how you should write your school name also in your education. Similarly, after masters, before masters, I may have done graduation also. You can write graduation. Okay, not below that. If you also want to write, let's say if you are just graduate, okay, so you can write graduation. Let's say your BSc, you can write about your class 12th and class 10th also. But suppose if you're masters, try to keep it to masters and graduate. Okay. Now, second is here, if you have any certain professional courses which you might have done, let's say you're applying for a web developer role and you might have done a course on data visualization. So you should write the name of your certificate also, that data visualization by IBM. Let's say if you have done a course. So you can write the name of the course, data visualization, right? And whenever the certificate is issued, some certificate number is also issued. So you should mention that certificate number also. And suppose that certificate has certain link, anybody from any part of the world can view that certificate. So you can hyperlink that particular certificate link also. Okay, like you can write the number of your certificate. Similarly, who has issued the certificate? Let's say I have done this course from IBM. So I can name the IBM. In which year you have done this certificate? So I can write the year also. And suppose this certificate has a link. So I can select this whole line. I can go to right click. I can go to insert link and I can paste the link of my certificate. So that anybody who's reading my resume can click here and see my certificate also right away. Right? So you should write all the certificate names, the recent ones and the relevant ones, I would say. Suppose you're applying for a developer role, then only use the developer related certificates. It's not like I have, topped the biotech. Let's say I have topped the mathematics Olympiad, so which is not relevant to your job. So try to avoid it. Only try to include the certificates which is relevant to your job. Okay. And also try to see here, I have written deliberately 4 maximum. You can go to 5 also, but do not make a complete list just like a portfolio. Fine. I was giving you an example that try to avoid to make your resume like 6 page, 4 page, 5 page. So try to be modest here also. If you list a lot of certificates here, fine. So that may give a hint that this candidate could be a little egoistic or little, too self obsessed about himself. So try to be modest also here, right? Try to identify what kind of certificate is most relevant to my job and try to include them here, right? Similarly, other things which you can write, if you have done any relevant volunteerism or non-paid job, you can mention it here. In the other relevant information, you see, I have written additional languages. Clearly, I have written, see, I could have written languages, but I'm writing additional languages. So here, if I'm writing additional languages, I will not mention English. Why I will not mention English? Because this whole resume is written in English. And logically, if you think with a common sense, since a person is able to make this whole resume in English, he is competent enough in English, right? Additional language. That is why I've written not English here. Okay, English I will not write here, but what other languages do I know? Do I know German? Do I know French? Do I know Hindi? Do I know any regional language from myself? And in the bracket, I will write my level also. What is my proficiency level, right? So I am a fresher, or say, let's say I am an intermediate, I am a beginner, I am a advanced. So what level I am on this language? So I can mention it over here. You could find people from computer application, they could write C++ or C sharp. So try to avoid, this is not that language we are talking about. We are talking about the language which you can speak, read, and write. Right. Similarly, for technical skills, the relevant softwares with the level. Suppose if I know Excel and I am pro in Excel, so I can say advanced. Fine. But if I'm not very pro in Excel, I could say basic Excel. Fine. You can write the name of the software as well as your proficiency level in that particular software, right? And if you have any awards, which is again relevant to this kind of job, so you can mention those awards also, right? So this is the template, and this is how you will make this template. Okay, I was not having a chance to see through the chat. Let me see the chats. Yes, you can write awaiting also in your education. If your education is not completed, you can write the current CGPA in the bracket where the focus area was there. Okay. All right. I'll try to get your email IDs from the feedback form or from the forms which you are using for attendance. And I'll mail all the links. I'll mail this PPT to all of you so that you can have all the links available with you. No need to mention your CGPA. No need to mention your CGPA. If you want, you can write here in the with the thermal engineering where I've written, or focus area which I've written. See your specialization and with CGPA, 3 CGPA or 5 CGPA. It's not mandatory. Okay. So I'll move back to my PPT. So this concludes my presentation, and I would like to know your responses or any questions you guys have. Let us just try to discuss it on. Sir, can we check ourselves by my own resume for ATS checking before uploading it? Yes, certainly you can do it, Risuparna. Uh, there are so many. If you Google this thing, key evaluate your resume, free websites are available. If you upload even on LinkedIn, also there's one feature. If you upload your resume, they will rate your resume. Let me try to show you if one of the website if I can find. Just a second. Okay, guys, see, this is one of the example. I have in my Google, I have searched a word cloud. So when I say word cloud, what it will do, if I copy a text, okay, let's say you copy your resume, you have made your resume, you copy your resume, you put your resume here, paste your resume here. And when you click on generate cloud, see what it does is it will write those words in bigger, which are repeated most in your resume. And it will those words are smaller which are repeated less in your resume. So it will tell you that which words have higher weightage in your resume. And if you think the same words have higher weightage in the job description also, then your resume is somewhere as per the keywords, as per the ATS evaluation parameters, right? So this is how you can evaluate your resume also. You can copy the content of your resume and paste it in any of the word cloud generator. They will generate the word cloud, and then you can see the size of the words which are generated, right? So if the size of the words which are generated, the bigger words, and those words are also there in the job description, okay, then you can compare that these words are relevant in the job description and I have more weightage of this word in my resume. That means your resume is good. Your resume is ATS friendly. Any other questions? I hope you guys have enjoyed this today's session. Okay. Now, how many of you think that your resume is competent enough for the current job in scenario, or do you need to change it? Yes, the session is available on YouTube also. You can see this in the YouTube recording on our LPU Online channel. Yes. Please do update your resumes as per the discussions we had. It will help you big time, and it will help us also big time. Suppose if we try to, you know, send your resume to some hiring companies, so they definitely rate our students. Thank you guys. Thank you for being a best audience. And I'll be sending you all the materials which I have used so that it can help you big time.
Thank you, Arpit sir.
Thank you, Asim sir.
Uh, Esteemed speaker and participants, good evening. On behalf of Lovely Profession University, I stand before you with a heartfelt full of gratitude and appreciation as we bring the curtains down on this enlightening hands-on workshop. Today has been a day of immense learning, insightful discussions, and a wonderful exchange of ideas. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Arpit Thakur, for gracing us with their profound knowledge, expertise, and time. Sir, your insights have truly been enlightening and have left an indelible mark on all of us. We extend our appreciation to our seniors, Ms. Gini Rijwan, Senior Director, Mr. Manish Kumar, Director, Center of Distance and Online Education, whose unwavering support has made this possible. Your commitment to education and knowledge sharing is truly commendable, and we are grateful for your continuous support and guidance. A special note of thanks goes to our organizing team, Ms. Parminder Kaur, Mr. Rohit, whose meticulous planning and hard work has ensured the smooth execution of this hands-on workshop. Your dedication behind the scenes has not gone unnoticed, and today's success is testament to your efforts. Last but not the least, to all our attendees, both present here and who have joined virtually, thank you for being a part of the journey, for dedicated uh, your valuable time to a part of this hands-on workshop. Your enthusiasm, engagement, and thoughtful questions have added a dynamic dimension to today's session. It is your active participation that has made this event truly exceptional. We hope that the insights gained today will have a lasting impact on your personal and professional lives. Thank you, student. Thank you once again who have contributed to the success of this hands-on workshop. Here's to the pursuit of knowledge and promise for more enriching experience in future. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Asim sir. Thank you, participants.
Thank you, everybody.